Good evening, everybody, and welcome to RPM Esports, the epitome of online league racing. It's me today, the entity, stepping in to bring you live round 7 action at Abu Dhabi. We've got Aisha in the Ferrari, currently on the circuit. Many other drivers heading out for their outlap 2 under the lights. So we've got quite a few people listening in already. Matthew Jones saying good evening. Kieran giving luck. We won't be talking about any toilet trivia tonight, that's one thing for certain. Let's have a little look with Matty on board. Going to be a second driver across the line behind Danos to bring us our first lap. Let's have a little look at what is still one of the most newly done up circuits, as we've already got one driver there in sector 1 phasing away, and nearly 2 drivers as well, as Rodu bringing the action early on. Big Puggy, retiring very early on in the session there. I wonder exactly what's happened. And it looks like we've got a lot of drivers all fighting for the same bit of track here at the early parts of qualifying. Most drivers in sector 1, and we've got another spin, and I think it's Smith facing the wrong way. So it's just heating the tyres at this stage, as Danos does complete the lap. Get to 1:24.9 as the benchmark time. And Matty goes across the line as well, 1:24.6. As we ride with NAT through the final sector. Avoids a Lloyd Lightning Latifi into the barriers there. Going around the penultimate corner into the final corner. And it's a 24.2 from Nat Packers. So early pace being around to the low 1:24s. Had Dino across the line with a 1:25.4. A lot of drivers here though just putting times on the board, including Snell Henk deciding to go out on the mediums. That's a bit of an adventurous line as well, going across the line there into turn 1. RPM Jones in the Aston Martin just looking for a gap on the circuit before starting their first lap. And away he goes. Across the line, first corner, drops it down to third gear for the rotation. Onto the bow, we seem to have been losing quite a few drivers here. Slippery part of the circuit in sector 1. We have got, I think that's Smith in the barrier, retired from the session as well. Let's see if that has compromised Jones in any way, as he goes down to second for the most north part of the track. The long hairpin corner. Up to 8th gear in the long straights. Full power, full speed as we break into one of the slowest and tightest chicanes on the calendar. Gives himself more than enough room turning left, opens up the corner for the exit. Back onto the power, opening DRS. As in fact, turn 2 and 3 claims another victim there. I think that's one of the Ferraris having a spin. We'll have a little look after we finish this lap with Jones. As he goes around the east parts of the circuit, sector 3, more technical parts of the track. And it's a benchmark time for Jones of a 1:26.0. I'm sure he'll be thinking he's got some time to gain there. You see the sparks flying off that Snellhenk coming off the main straight. Those drivers now back into the pits. We'll just have a look and see if Goey is on a hot lap. They've already done a couple of laps, so they might be looking to set the time. But oh, I thought that was going to be track limits, but seems to have kept it within somehow. But seems to be bailing and coming into the pits. Instead, there's the track limits anyway. Don't know if that was a delay or whether that was just as they were coming into the pits. So just check out the camera angles that we get here at Abu Dhabi. "16 corners, and we don't get the best view for the last one." Who's the commentator today? DZ Karting. Why, it's the one and only RPM entity in the comms booth today. I'll be taking you round all the action. At the Yas Marina circuit tonight. 16 corners we have got here, and Matty seems to be struggling with the first two, as there's turn 3 to 4 there. Matty having a spin, just putting some heat into the tyres, as we like to say in the early parts of qualifying. In terms of the standings, we have got Riker is the current leader at First Division here in the Red Bull. And they're just starting a lap, but I think they're battling out of this one. And, F1 Dyno is the man in second on the hunt of the Red Bull driver. We've got Matty currently in third in the standings, 141 points, only 3 points behind Dino, so that's gap's only. Well, I thought Matty was out for a second, but no, he only had a spin, wasn't out yet, so Matty going to be looking to jump Dino in the standings. Out qualifying Dino would be a good start to that. Smith we have in fourth in the Mercedes, 134 points for them, and Nat's in fifth in the Williams, 129 points, so really all to play for here in First Division. We've also got Rodo and Danos both over the 100 metre boards. Some asking, we have got Jones down in 11th place on 58 points. Those are low numbers, need to get those numbers up. For those who know, they know. So clearing the traffic is Matty as he goes down the main straight. So I say the main straight. There is now obviously another straight between turns 8 and 9, the second DRS zone, but this will always be known as the main straight. Through 6 and 7, a lot of curve on exit, but does utilise all of the circuits. It'll be interesting to see if that gains time or loses time by being on the curb. Seems to be a purple middle sector, so it looks like it's been gaining time. Again, using all of the circuit onto the curb again on exit is Matty. tries the best to open up the corners through 13 and 14. A very tough part of the circuit. Lord Lightning himself couldn't do it. But can Matty? Oh, very close to the track limits. Pushing all the way to the line. Matty comes across the line faster, but not by enough. A 1:24.4. They'll have enough time to go round and do another lap. We've got some more yellow flags out on the circuit. I think that might be people into the pits, or that's Matty slowing down from their lap, potentially out of fuel. As we catch Danos on a hot lap, not on a hot lap, it's a 6-minute lap time, but it looks at things. If the delta here is anything to go off. It's not been the qualifying so far that Riker would have wanted. Currently in 6th. Let's have a little look and see what Aisha is able to do. Going around the final corner. A lot of the circuit being used. And it's an improvement again. But only a 25.8 for Aisha. I wonder if Snell Henk is going on to softs. They are indeed. Now let's see what Snell can do. Going another driver looking to eke some time out. You can see from their current best time, they've definitely got something to give at on their time. Please be nice to me tonight, by the way, says Natalie. Of course I'm going to be nice. I am an impartial commentator. We've got a few drivers slowing down on the straight. Let's have a look and see what we've got here. I think it's just Danos just letting some drivers behind through. Yep. It's just an almighty gap behind. It was an unusual gap to have stopped in, but Jones, I believe, is still playing on a controller for DZ Karting asking. And I think it shows. So we've got some support in the chat for Alfa Romeo from Rusty Oil Can. Good to see him watching on the stream today. Cheering on the Alphas. As these drivers all get ready for their final runs. So except from Rodo here, who's decided to beat the traffic, doesn't want to play the games. It's going to go for their time right now, and pretty much matches their best time. And I think we've just lost Inorganic at... yes, we have just lost Inorganic at turn 2. Another victim there. We can see him in the background behind Rodo's car. As we have Nats in the pits currently, wishing luck to Jones. I know you might have the fastest lap at the moment, Nats, but you might want to keep your focus on the circuit and on your qualifying. You don't want to slip up. We saw all too well. We saw what happened in Monza just last week. In fact, not last week, 2 weeks ago, as we had a lovely break week enjoying the Easter sun. Just having a little look and wondering exactly what Jones is playing at here. It's showing he's on 3-lap old soft tyres. They're queuing up for their lap, and they are going to be gunning for it on these old tyres. I'd like to hope that is a glitch on things and that he's gone for a fresh set, but who knows, down to third again through turn 1. Little bit more power through turns 2 and 3 this time than what we have seen previously. Yellow flags as Riker on his outlap getting by Spivey ahead. It will be interesting to see if either of them gets in the way of Jones on the hot lap. Let's flick through Dino negotiating the first sector as well currently. And Danos on a mission to get round in time, as they're pretty low on ERS as well, only 20%, but they have invalidated their time. Let's flick to Rodo. So Nat's going through the first sector. Rodo in the middle sector, and just a bit too much on the inside. They have also invalidated their lap. So I think it's going to be Jones who's going to be first across the line here. Let's ride on board with the Aston Martin. Very good throttle control through there. Takes it as one solid corner as opposed to two corners, but a little bit wayward coming around the final couple corners. Across the line goes Jones. It's enough to see them ahead of Riker, but Riker's still going to be going across the line. I wonder where Spivey's going to go. Spivey doesn't improve. Riker also doesn't improve, but I think they're just going to be starting their lap. Matty also going onto a lap. You can tell by just how much ERS that the Haas has got with them. And we flick to Nats going round the final corner. See if they can extend their lead. They can indeed, into the 123s, a 123.7 points, 0.5 of a second between her and Rodo. But obviously lots of drivers still out there on the circuit. See, let's watch them all come in one by one. It's going to be Spivey who's going to be the first setting a lap. We'll just double check that Jones isn't on that note out of ERS. These are karting Natalie. Very impressive times on a controller, but your lap times don't really surprise me anymore. When you're faster than me at Singapore, driving with a wheel. Step up, going onto the wheel. Spivey finding a step up into the top 10. Up to 9th is the Mercedes. Riker also crosses the line again, no improvement, so Jones might be holding on there. And, we've had an incident here with Dino and Goey. Contact's been made. I think that's turn 14. We've got bits of car in the barrier. Matty went into the pits amongst all of that. And I think that's going to be our qualifying over. So we end up having 4 drivers of the 14 out. We lost Big Puggy early on. Smith and Organic also fell to the turn 2 and turn 3. Dino had crashed and Ghosting is off. But a bit of a blind turn there. And that seemed to be how we lost 2 drivers there right at the very end. Well, nonetheless, frantic action just at the very end. Goey picking up a 5-second time penalty for it all. But let's have a little look and double check through these standings. So, for the race itself, we're going to have Nats Packers is going to be on pole. Second, we have got Rodo. Rodo having some very consistent times throughout the qualifying. Might be able to put some pressure on Nats, especially if they have a poor start or what have you, under any safety car if it may be. Matty is going to be right behind the leader in 3rd. Danos, 2nd row. In 4th, Dino in 5th. Jones in 6th. 7th, we have Riker. The championship leader in 8th is Ivor. 9th, Spivey. 10th, Snell Henk. And 11th, Inorganic. In 12th was Goey. 13th, we had Smith. And then the early crash, we had Big Puggy starting in 14th place. And we've got Matt Jones saying it's a voice made for commentary. It's a voice well wasted on commentary, I believe. A rather obstreperous voice, if some would say. But whilst my voice is obstreperous, one thing that is controlled is the driving of Nats Porter. Do just want to say for the last couple of races that Nats joined RPM quite late into the season. Well, I say quite late for where we are now, and has picked up quite a few accolades already. I'm also getting reports though that there's 2 bars of rain at Abu Dhabi in the desert. Hopefully none of these drivers will be making my mistake from seasons past and have decided to go for inters in the desert. I don't think it will rain, but interested to see that there is a possibility of rain in Abu Dhabi. Might make turns 2 and 3 just that little bit slippier if any of our drivers here needed that today. And for anyone watching the stream, something you might want to notice there is, for some reason, every team has got 3 engineers stood inside of each other. It's like some weird 3-headed cyclops for every team. You can really see the Mercedes one. I don't know why I find that so funny. I guess it's because there's nothing else to do in this 3-second countdown. Well, thank you very much, Natalie, for the good comments in the comms. Hopefully it's going to be a 10 out of 10 race for yourself. Hopefully a 10 out of 10 race for everyone watching as the drivers get away from the line to do their warm-up laps. Let's have a little look and see what the tyre options are that people have chose. So we've got a nice mixture of hards and mediums. This is what we like to see from the comms booth. So you've got your inorganic Smith and Puggy going to go long and see if they can outdo some of the medium runners ahead of them. Nats believes they've got the pace to stay ahead on the hards to a long stint and then push for the fastest lap as well. The extra point available for the fastest lap. That's going on for the hards. Rodo thinking that they have some pace. They looked very good in qualifying. But can the Alpine challenge Nats at the start? This is going to be really interesting. There's 0.5 between their times, their best times in qualifying. It's a good start. Could see Rodo ahead. Matty playing it safe on the hards as well. Whilst Danos and Dino really going to have to make up the positions. Needs to get ahead of their current championship rival, which is Matty in third. Dino starting directly behind, but on the medium tyres, so that could be interesting to watch. Jones on the hards. The championship leader, Riker. Now, I used to race with Riker a few seasons back in a different racing league. One thing I will say is this driver knows exactly how to do a strategy. Might not be the quickest driver all the time. Knows when to find the pace, where to find the pace, and will be there or thereabouts come the end. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Eijver on the mediums, Spivey on the mediums, and Snellhenk got a lot of practice on the mediums in qualifying. Going to be on the mediums again for the start of the race. A lot of pressure today on what I'm going to say when the lights go green. I know a lot of people are eager to hear, but we are 5 lights. And away we are at Abu Dhabi, round 7 of First Division. And it's a great start from Nats. Rodu coming over to fend off the battle behind. And we've got Matty caught side by side by both Danos and Dino, but does get ahead crucially out of turn 1. And I think we have got an incident, and it's going to be Ricky that's facing the wrong way. The championship leader has been spun. I don't believe they've got any damage, but they have been spun around. We've now got yellow flags in sector 1, but no signs of a virtual safety car, as we have got Matty side by side, but a better exit than Danos there onto the back straights. As it's a great start from our 2 leaders pulling away. And Rodo looking to go around the outside of Nats. Oh, it's really tight. Has the inside line, but Nats is going to get the drive around the outside. Gets onto the power. A lot smoother way around the circuit, and Nats is able to drive away from that one. I wonder if Rodo is going to be continuing to put the pressure on Nats' cold tyres. It's going to be very difficult to get those hards up to temperature. But how long will those mediums last? So much that we're going to have to just sit and watch and find out. As Big Puggy makes a move on Smith. Sees Big Puggy promoted up to 8th. A fantastic start by Big Puggy, who started at the back. And Riker's already catching up there. Now only 2 seconds to the back of the pack. Has said that they will be able to find out. Oh, we've got an incident. We've got Matty spun. Matty facing the wrong way on the penultimate corner. Will be able to get themselves going. I wonder if they might have got rear wing damage there. They are continuing round nonetheless. Obviously, you can't get a rear wing change, can only get a front wing change. No driver doing that, so I don't believe there's any damage to anyone's front wings so far. But we have got Rodu sticking with Nat. Now, we haven't got any DRS for the first 3 laps. But Rodu hoping to just stick within that 1 second window. And who knows, maybe spring a surprise along the way. And we have clearly got something up with the timing, as Danos and Dino are now over 1 minute behind in 3rd and 4th. So not entirely sure what has happened there. But we have got Jones right on the back of, well, I say right on the back, Jones approaching Dino, catching up to the pack. Jones on the hards, remember, and a gap appearing behind with Snell Hank under pressure from Big Puggy. Big Puggy really making the moves today. Really impressed with their race start here, up from 14th to 7th. Let's just have a look and see those position changes. So as mentioned, Big Puggy, the big mover, up 6 into 7th. Snell Hank going with up 4 positions in 6th, and we've got yellow flags. Oh, we've got it's Big Puggy. It's the curse of the commentator. I don't believe it. The AlphaTauri spinning themselves back around. I do believe we've also lost someone else in the mix. It's Goey. It's an AlphaTauri. Double incident. Goey losing it turn 13, 14, and Big Puggy losing it turn 15. So Matty now down 9 positions, but on the comeback following their incident. Riker also on the comeback, very much so. Look at that, up into 9th position in the top 10 already, and closing into within 1 second of the car ahead. Let's flick back to our leaders. DRS now in operation. A little bit of weaving there from Nats, but Rodo looking to go around the outside. It's a sweeping corner. It's always difficult to judge on the sweeping corners exactly where your fellow driver is. Nats defends up the inside. Rodo gets ahead, closes the door, coming into turn 13. Unbelievable. So Rodu now in the lead on the medium tyres. Now can they pull away from that? So is Nat's going to be able to sit behind, utilise DRS to their advantage, get a lovely tower along, save these hard tyres, and be able to go for it when Rodu is in the pits. But all of this has meant that Danos is back up with the action, and Danos is also within DRS range of Nats. Who knows exactly what's going to happen here. Dino has dropped off a bit there, 2 seconds back, maybe preserving their tyres. And we've got yellow flags again in Sector 3, as I think that's one of the AlphaTauris going into the pits. It's Big Puggy having difficulties going into the pits, decides to not go into the pits. Sometimes it is such a difficult decision of whether you want to go in or not. So interesting there, Nat not quite close enough to make a move that time on Rodo. However, nicely taken chicane. Does see the gap stay within half a second. Interesting to see if Nats decides to go for a move. It's going to be a late lunge from there, and they decide against it, but they've got to be cautious with Danos praying in behind. I wonder if Danos is thinking whether to get involved in the action or whether to just save themselves, play a long game. It's all these mind games that you have when in the car. You don't know whether to just go for it, take an opportunity, or make an opportunity. Sometimes you have to make it yourself, or whether to just sit back, watch the events unfold, stay out of trouble, and see if you can sneak through. As oh, Dino Not taking it easy at all was Dino. Dino was clearly pushing to catch up to our front three, and that has promoted Jones up to 4th. Snell Henk the McLaren is now up into 5th, Smith into 6th. And as we said, they're going to be there or thereabouts. Riker now back up to their starting position after being 5 seconds down after just one sector. Let's have a little look on Ivor following Dino. Dino's tyres could be very warm right now. Just keeping eyes on the gaps at the leader as Danos is closing in on Nats, who's closing in on Rodo. And Smith also closing in on Snell Henk. I believe they're going to make the move into the corner, but here we are. Ivor up the inside, sends it, licks the stamp, sends it. It was a bit of a fight back from Dino, but I think Ivor's got that. But Dino's now going to have DRS, the switcheroo. Round the outside goes Dino, and they retake 8th position. Smith and Snell Henk still battling. Let's flick to that battle. Riker, look how close Riker is to the back of that Mercedes as well. I really want to make that a 3-way fight as opposed to a 2-way. Going to be a difficult task for Riker to get past both drivers at one move. That would be a total bit of magic. But both drivers running a little bit wide around turn 1. Riker thinks about a move up the inside. Decides better of it at that part of the track. Better to just stick behind, utilise DRS. No one thinking about making a Max Verstappen at the most north part of the circuit, but here they go down the main straight. There's already weaving going on by Snell Henk, trying to break the toe. We've also got Dino caught up to the back of his pack as well. And here goes Ricker. Again, decides against it. Maybe looking to line himself up better as we go between corners 8 and 9. A good exit from Riker. A little bit of an early shift by the looks of things from Smith, and Riker being squeezed. Makes a move up the inside. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. There's your bit of magic. And now it's whether Riker can get past Snell Henk, who won't have any DRS. There's a 5-second gap just ahead of them. So we flip back to the race for the lead. That's still staying within DRS of Rodo. Rodo on the medium tyres, faster tyre at this stage of the race, but not able to drop Nat. And it's not going to be helped by the second sector being a massive assistance for any following driver as they get a double dosage of DRS. The drag reduction system opening of the rear wing. As the day gets from bad to worse for the AlphaTauris. Big Puggy and Goey swapping around again. This time Goey spinning around. And Nats goes to the inside on Rodo. We saw it before when Nats went up the inside. They're going to have the outside of this corner, but closes the door nonetheless midway through in the chicane. Fantastic driving by Nats, but Rodo's going to have to think about coming back at them as his Danos is just behind. Can Rodo get back? No, but Rodo can't get back at Nats this time around. So we've seen a swap for the lead of the race. We've got yellow flags again in sector 1. That's again the AlphaTauri couple. Goey's now in the pits. Big Puggy setting off the yellow flags as Matty and Spivey swapping positions. Going into that lovely sweeping left. We've got battles all over the track. And here we have one behind Snell Henk. We've got Smith and Dino racing for position. And amongst that, Ivor as well. So what this means currently for the standings, it would see Nats up to second in the championship, just 18 points behind Riker. And you have to say, that is an incredible recovery drive from Riker, who now sees himself in 5th position at the moment, chasing down RPM Jones. As without that recovery, we could be seeing Nat as our championship leader. But to no discredit of Nats, they're doing all that they can be doing. Currently in first, holding off Rodu. But you have to say that's absolute brilliance by Riker, who's driving away from the trains behind us. Smith goes up the inside on Snellhenk. Snellhenk decides not to fight that, but instead going to line themselves up for potentially a better exit here out of turn 8. Opens up DRS. However, I think Smith's going to be using quite a lot of DRS there, and they are Smith pulling away from Snellhenk. Makes the move stick. Dino looking at that flashing light of Snellhenk, thinks, oh, you're next, I fancy a bit of that. To see if Dino can keep close enough to utilise DRS on the McLaren. So we only saw the one early prediction from Kieran, and that was for Jones to win. Well, they are going in the right direction. I don't know whether a win is on the cards, but up in fourth on the hard tyres, in a very good position. And to think Jones was thinking about not racing tonight, instead was thinking about joining me on comms. Then you would have had 2 Muppets in a comms box. It's much better only having one, and watching one serious racer go at it and hunt down the top 3. Here we are now, watching Dino going around the hairpin at the top of the circuit. Opens up the DRS. They're going to have DRS on Snellhenk. I wonder if Snellhenk's deciding to fight this one next. They go to cover off the insides. A little bit of movement. Oh, so getting close. I was thought there was going to be contact at one point there, but Dino sends it around the outside, makes the move stick. Snellhenk hasn't got the ERS to fight that one back. Dino promotes themselves up to 7th. The Dino and Matty battle getting more and more interesting as this goes on. With Dino now 3 spaces ahead of the Haas driver. And it looks like Nat has dropped Rodo out of DRS, only just. So it's our 10th minute. I wonder if Rodo's used a lot of ERS. I wonder if they might use the remainder to get back in that 1 second window. And that's music to Danos's, to the Ferrari's ears. They can keep within a second themselves. It's very tight. I don't know if they made that. We'll only find out as they go around the corner, as we have Ajva into the pits, the first driver to make a tyre change, I believe that will be. We did have going into the pits earlier in the race, but I think that was due to the front wing damage. Oh, a bit of a moment there from Rodo, and that's going to get Danos's eyes lit up. And speaking of lit up, is the ERS battery deployment light on the back of RT Rodo. That means they haven't got much battery left, haven't got much of a speed boost on the straight to help themselves to bail them out of jail. So Danos can get close enough to really put the pressure on. Rodo's not going to have much to fight it, especially on the old mediums. Then again, Danos on the same tyre compound. All of this playing into the hands of the Williams driver, Nat, who's able to now pull away over 1.5 seconds to the battle for second. And there is still battles going on the circuit. We've got Smith closing up to Riker in the battle for 5th. Jones seems to be in a battle with his own thoughts in 4th position. A nice gap either side for the Aston Martin driver, essentially eyeing up the windows of opportunity for when to go in for a pit stop. Now, it's interesting we're mentioning about the chance of rain. We have actually got some clouds forming over the circuit. I wonder if we're actually going to see rain in the desert. Be good for the plants, give them some water, otherwise they're solely relying on photosynthesis with the sun. And let's catch back for the race for second with Danos hunting down Rodo. To see Rodo having a little moment in this position last time round. I wonder if they picked up a warning for track limits. And so far no driver picking up any penalties. I wonder if we're going to have a curse at the commentator on that statement. And Smith and Riker. Smith doing a very good job here, being on the hard tyres. We know that the mediums are starting to fade away. They haven't completely gone yet, but they are fading away, and Smith's just staying within DRS, so getting a speed advantage on their laps as the hards are becoming the more prominent tyre. Other battles we have Matty chasing down Dino, going around the final couple of corners into turn 16 with a gap of just half a second. So I reckon Matty will, permitting any errors in the first sector, will be having a go down the main straight. So far every driver seeming to be a lot more comfortable through turns 3 and 4. You see Matty there only using about 75% throttle through that section. We did see Matty being one of the drivers getting caught up, as we have got a incident in sector 3. It's Big Puggy again. They're finding turn 14 quite difficult out there, but we'll quickly flick back to Matty. Matty closing in on the Alfa Romeo. Not close enough, but able to line themselves up. The Alfa Romeo goes quite deep, opened up the corner quite nicely for themselves, but did slow themselves massively. So the gap now only 0.3 as we're going into that long left. I wonder if Matty's going to think about going up the inside. Dino defends the outside and keeps the position. It's a difficult one if you go for the inside, being a sweeping corner. Going to carry the momentum through the corner. So dive up the inside might just see you clip the driver ahead as opposed to passing them, as Danos makes a dart for the pits. So the battle for second now heating up, as the Danos going into the pits first. I wonder if that's going to call anyone else into the pits. Doesn't seem to have started a domino effect. In fact, we've got Riker staying out. But we have got a few other drivers coming in. Oh, I love this. Under the circuit, exiting the pits. Onto the power, up the hill goes Danos. And straight into a clear bit of track. I'll be looking to get some heat into the tyres and try and catch Matty. We've got 14 people watching now. And still no new predictions in terms of a top 3. I think that might be the best way to open out, is opening out for a top 3, as Dino and Matty still going at it, the two of them. Matty currently running in 6th, Dino in 7th. It's going to be a double dosage of DRS though, as Dino's now going to get DRS themselves on Matty. Matty, who now, the light flashing. I wonder if Dino's going to go around the outside here. Lovely camera angle, Dino going around the outside. Matty sticks it on the inside and makes the move stick. Brilliant driving from the two of them. The old hards of Matty, well, I say the old hards, the more prominent, the favoured tyre at the moment, and the old mediums. But we've got going out of the session. They've retired in the pits. As Kieran still predicting that Jones is going to win the race. Nat's second, Rodo in third. Well, Jones makes his way up to second, not by making a move, not by an error. Rodo's in the pits. I wonder if Rodo is going to be jumped here. And I have to keep an eye on this, as the drivers will change around positions as they go into the pits themselves. Rodo is ahead of Danos still. He's going to need to be getting heat into the tyres. Goey has now left the session. And we'll keep an eye on Smits making a move on Riker. Riker now up to third. They do still need to pit. But we did say Riker knows where to be on the circuit, knows how to stay out of trouble. But trouble is looming here with the light flashing. And you've got Smits chasing you down in the Mercedes. Riker hovering over the inside, then flicks back to the outside. Smith makes a move up the inside. There's contact between the two drivers. No damage by the looks of things, but Riker stays ahead of the Mercedes. For now. I wonder if Riker's going to pull into the pits, or are they gambling on a safety car, or are they going to create a safety car? Riker has a spin at turn 14. Spins themselves back around a clear gap to do so. I wonder if they're going to have an incident here with Inorganic. Nope, Inorganic decides against that. Sensible driving from the Alfa Romeo. It's blind corners around the majority of Sector 3, and that is Riker into the pits. Our championship leader having a bit of a moment, and that really does open up the championship with NAT currently our race leader, going to be pitting onto the medium tyres, so presumably going to be going for fastest lap later on, as well is the Williams driver. Jones still sitting comfortable with a nice gap ahead and behind, just looking to maintain the pace. It's always difficult at this part of the race if you find yourself in a gap, trying to keep focus, keep pace, and trying to maintain a sensible race pace. You don't want to be going too hard if you're trying to make the tyres last. Then again, you don't want to be saving your tyres too much and potentially losing out, as Rodu going around the outside of Smith, trying to work out where we are. We're going into turn 14. I don't think we see many moves there. Well, we had Riker losing it. We have Rodu styling it out, making a move around the outside of Smith. As Kieran sticking to their guns, saying that Jones is going to lap everybody. I think that's very optimistic thinking, but who knows? Inorganic heading into the pits. As we keep an eye on this battle here, as the gaps are starting to close again in the race for fourth. We've got Smith, Danos and Matty all going round. Just see ahead there of Matty. We've still got some racing going on as Danos and Smith are jostling out for position. Danos gets ahead of Smith before we start the course of quite difficult, tight corners in Sector 3. More of a procession than an overtaking place. But then again, we did see it early on with Smith and Matty going round there. As Rodu goes for the fastest lap on their new hard tyres. It's going to suit them well, but I wonder if that's going to be obliterated by the drivers going on to the mediums. We've got Riker already on the mediums. I wonder how many laps until we see Nats and Jones decide to make a move for them as well, especially as Jones being caught at a rate of about 1 second a lap by Rodo on those fresher hards in behind. Still no safety cars as well, which is always something good to see. I believe we've had a safety car in every race in First Division so far this season, so very good to see that. I'm sure Nats is very happy not to see Aston Martin, and that's not the fact that they've got Jones chasing them behind, but more the fact that they haven't befriended the safety car, let's just say. As Nats does go into the pits, I wonder if Jones is going to follow suit, if they're on the same strategy, different teams, so more than able to pit at the same time, as Jones does also make a dart for the pits, which does see Rodu go into the lead as Nats is going to come underneath. Now, how much of a gap is Rodu going to have pulled out, and is Danos going to follow through? Might be better wording for that, but Danos is just behind Nats, unfortunately. But going to be within DRS. So I wonder if they're going to have a go on the cold tyres of the Williams driver. Really open up this race. It's a 2.5 second gap that Rodo has got on Danos. And here we are, Raikkonen now putting the pressure on himself. And so we saw them have the incident, pushing them back down to 9th. But now getting fastest lap of the race as well. Still no penalties as well. Is this first division or is this Premier? No penalties out there on the circuit. We're over 2/3 of the way through the race. And there's also no safety car. We have got the grey clouds forming. And Danos not able to make a move on that. However, definitely closer this time around. Following the Nats going into the pits, being on the cold tyres. However, it won't be long, I'm sure. RPM Backer, I'm the Aston motivator at the moment, so I presume that's referring to Backer giving RPM Jones some advice. I know they like to be in a party together and play a bit of role play with Backer being Jones's race engineer. I couldn't think of many better race engineers than the league owner themselves. It's always nice to see the owner himself in the comments. I hope you're enjoying the race, and I hope your drivers faring quite well here today. And there we are, the first penalty of the race is RPM Aisha for 3 seconds. Now normally there'd be quite a few out there, but that's unfortunate for Aisha, who's also then just lost the position to Riker as well. Riker taking an off-road route there of turn 1, but still ahead of the Ferrari, but has used a lot of ERS to do so. I wonder if Aisha on the older hard tyres is going to think about making a move back, or whether they're going to use the championship leader to their advantage. Look at that drive out that Riker gets out of that corner, pulls away a further 3 tenths to go onto the main straight. It might be best for Aisha just to sit behind, save their tyres, but also pick up a bit more of a speed boost around a couple of laps. Oh, going deep like that, not going to help the Ferrari driver. As Nat's already closing the gap to within 1 second of RT Rodo. It was a brave call from Rodo, going for the mediums to start with. At one point when they got ahead of Nats early on, we thought this could be really interesting, but Nats now, on the form of her life, starts to reel in the Alpine driver, and I'm sure we're going to see a change from race leader here. That's also one for fastest lap. It's going to utilise DRS, and hopefully it's a clean overtake for them, so they can get this fastest lap. The flashing light ahead of Rodo shows that they are in trouble, and in trouble indeed they are, as Nats up the inside makes the move stick. Can they defend as well, going from turn 8 to turn 9? Rodo sticks right to the back of the Williams. Can they get the power down? Can they make a move? Both lights are flashing on both cars, and the Alpine just too far back. I wonder if that's going to be their opportunity gone now, as Nats on the faster tyre. You can only imagine it's going to start to pull away here. But then again, we said it earlier, there is a massive DRS train, a massive DRS boost, in fact, on the whole of the second sector. 2 doses, 2 rather long straights. So if Rodo can stick with it, it's still going to be some very, very good points and a very well-deserved podium for the Alpine if they can stick within Nats' DRS. Danos still not out of the equation. Obviously penalties can play a part. Danos only 3 seconds behind the 2 ahead. Jones still going in 4th. Lovely gaps either side. It's all about keeping the focus for the Aston Martin, but no time to think at all for these 3. Dino, Matty, Smith. We seem to be saying their names quite a lot, and that's because they're involved in a lot of incidents, and there has been an incident that they are involved in. Matty's facing the wrong way on the circuit, and I worry that they might get caught up in other drivers. They reverse out of that. Unbelievable. Contact between Matty and Smith at turn 1. Dino drives away into 5th. Riker up into 6th now. Every time I look away, I see Riker higher up the leaderboard. They were down and out at the very start. They're now back up to 6th after being down and out in the middle of it. We've got more racing going on as Snell Hanks making a move, thinking of a move on RPM Ijva. Ijva goes very deep again through the chicane, but can Snell Hank on fresher tyres make a move into the sweeping left? Turn 9, looks to the inside. Snell Hank positions on the inside ahead of Ijva, squeezes Ijva out mid-corner. The McLaren's ahead, but Ijva's coming back at it. Sticks with it on the curb, does Ijva. They've got the insides going into the final sector here. And RPM Ijva on the inside, still battling away. Ijva seems to have had a moment on the inside curb. I don't know whether there was contact or not, but Snell Hanks goes through. Snell Hank is up to 8th position. Unbelievable driving there. Ijva still in, didn't lose it completely into 10th, but they did drop a position to Inorganic, who's now right on the gearbox of Snell Hank. There's action every corner, wherever you look. If you look behind, we've still got Matty chasing down Ijva as well. Inorganic running a little bit wide at turn 1, but still sticking within DRS of Snell Hank. Snell Hank on the hard tyres, Inorganic on the mediums, the faster tyres of the two. We've only got 7 more laps. It's the business end of the race now. It's all about making these moves stick and seeing if we can drive away. There's no driving away for Snell Hank as Inorganic's closing up with DRS. No ERS though available for Inorganic. They seem to have used all of that up. That's a lovely exit out of the chicane, out of turn 8. Chasing into turn 9, and a brilliant exit drive there by Snell Hank, using the last of their ERS to pull away, and that saves them for another day. Just have a little flick through and see what is happening elsewhere on the circuit, but I believe this is the battle to watch. See there on the track map in the bottom right just how tight it is, and I think we might have saw an overtake there on the track map as Ijva noticed. Ijva went into the pit, so I don't want to flick back and cast my eyes away from this action here as Snell Hank valiantly fighting off the Alfa Romeo of Inorganic and Matty, who was caught up in that earlier incident with Smith. Is looking for a recovery drive themselves in the Haas, and more to the point, looking to recover some points in the gap between them and Dino in the championship. Now Inorganic ahead of Snell Hank, who is only just ahead of Matty, but it's a bit of a poor exit of turn 8 from Inorganic. Snell Hank round the outside, utilising ERS. You can see there Inorganic's lights flashing. Inorganic somewhat a city duck here as Matty makes a move up the inside, and the Haas is now ahead, so total change around. Snell Hank's back ahead with Matty right behind, and Inorganic's dropped down to 10th. How many more changes are we going to have? I think we're going to be watching this battle for the next 5 laps. NAT has now pulled out a 4-second lead, so permitting no late safety cars. I think NAT is going to be our race leader. Another 4-second gap there between Rodo and Danos as well, so our top 3 all sitting rather comfortably. And Jones has been for, I think, the whole race. Now has Dino behind in 5th. This is Riker is closing in on Dino, but how long will those mediums last? Closing in, though, is not going to be closing enough for Snell Hank, who's hoping that we were on lap 29 already, if not on lap 30. He wants the race to be finished already, but instead they're under a lot of pressure, and the pressure's already beginning before we've even started the DRS, as Matty right side by side, wheel to wheel with Snell Hank. Snell Hank does use ERS to pull back ahead, and Matty decides not to make a move. judges the braking zone only just. I thought they were going to go straight into the back of the McLaren, but holds up their ERS usage. We've lost the driver in sector 1. We'll have to flick to that a bit later on, because right now we're on board with Matty making a move round the outside of Snell Henk. The difficult part is, does he know where Snell Henk is? Snell Henk's on the inside, but they are ahead round the outside and have made the move. So Matty's now up to 8, and Snell Henk is under pressure again from Inorganic. I have a feeling the incident we might have saw early on there in sector 1 was Big Puggy, who is still going in 13th, and we have had another incident. It's Matty. Every time I look away, we've missed another one. And it's Matty in the barrier at turn 14. Inorganic now up to 9th. They're right on the back still of Snell Henk. I wonder exactly what happened, because Matty got ahead. I wonder if he's lost it himself, or whether he was clipped potentially by either one of these drivers. Definitely one that we might see more of in the stewards room. And Inorganic, we said that turn 2 or 3 hasn't been claiming anyone, it's just claimed Inorganic. Drivers pushing so hard on these tyres, pushing them to the limits as we get to the latter stages. The tyres just don't have any give left, and they've given way on Inorganic, who's gone from chasing 8th position now down to 10th. Still a top 10, I'm sure they'll be happy, but they will no doubt be reminiscing of what could have been today. Now, with no safety car, it is worth still saying that if you are looking to sponsor, get a shout out for your business, your company, your vision, whatever you want to call it, then do feel free to get in touch with us at RPM Esports F1. More than happy to be shouting at your company if you are looking to sponsor our racing league. You can get in touch with us on any of our social media pages, be that via Instagram, Discord, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. I don't know if I've named them all, but we're on them all. Every single one of them, we're there. Get in touch, we can give you a shout out. If you just want to sponsor a specific race, you want to sponsor the league, we're looking for sponsors. You're more than welcome to make an approach to do so. We would love to be shouting out your company here at RPM Esports, the epitome of online league racing. And talking of the epitome, here is the McLaren of Snell Henk, who's brought us so much brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing throughout this race. They're chasing down Smith. There's yellow flags ahead. The yellow flags have now cleared. I wonder that's an incident there with Riker and Dino. I noticed Riker has closed that gap significantly to the Alfa Romeo. Riker might be still seeing themselves in the top 5 come the end of the race. We've still got 2 laps remaining. Snell Henk just a bit too far back. We will flick to our championship leader, as this could be crucial for the battle for the championship, with Nats promoting themselves to second on paper, as they currently hold a 5-second lead in the race. Riker 0.5 behind as we go across the line. Kieran, hoping we get to toilet paper, Brad. I think you talk about it enough that you might actually get yourself sponsored as opposed to just RPM. We have got more yellow flags, and it's Isra. Oh, it seems to all gone wrong in the second third of the race for the Ferrari driver, and very, very nearly getting in the way of Nats lapping Isra there. It could have easily been an unwanted incident, as Riker up the inside of Dino. We're not going to be able to see the incident, but they are able to get ahead. And they've still got a lot of ERS. I think Riker might go for fastest lap, you know, and really go for trying to recoup some of their championship points after what has not been the best race for them so far. They are still in a battle with Dino. Dino's sticking around the outside here. Unbelievably, Dino back ahead and around turn 9 into sector 3 there. And I think that puts a real spanner in the works for the championship leader. I don't think even Riker saw that one coming. Aisha back into the pits, goes for softs for a potential fastest lap. I wonder what Riker's doing here with 83% ERS. Riker decides not to go for the battle for 5th to pick up more points, and instead going to go for soft tyres and go for the fastest lap. Now that is a strange decision if I've ever seen one, but maybe they really cherish that fastest lap points. As we see Snell, Henk and Smith still going at it. There's not many laps left and they're still going at it. It's going to go right down to the wire. Riker's gone down to 9th for this stop. However, we're more than likely going to see them appear out ahead. A 3-second time penalty for Snell, Henk. Not the time to pick up a penalty on the penultimate lap. Just makes the move all the more crucial for the McLaren driver. As not only do they need to get ahead, but they also now need to be pulling away a full 3 seconds. I just don't think it's going to happen. Smith has 30% ERS. They've got enough in the bank to defend from the McLaren, but they know they don't need to defend too hard, as the McLaren has this 3-second time penalty and is on the old hard tyres. Matty, another driver who's going on to the soft tyres, and this one does make sense in my opinion. Matty hasn't had the best day, however I think they have now been lapped, so it'll be interesting to see if they are able to set this fastest lap, or whether it's going to allow them, as Nats is going to cross the line ahead of them. Big Puggy having another little moment at turn 14. I don't think they'll be wanting a postcard from that corner at any point. Yes, Marina, it's Nat Packers who is our race leader. Coming into the final sector though, having a lead of 6.3 seconds. That gap only going up, baby. It's you and me now. And the rest of us watching as Nats coming around the final couple of corners to pick up another race win, picking up for what was a horrible race week just 2 weeks ago in Monza, but back with a bang. Here's Nat Packers, our race winner here at Abu Dhabi, with Rodu coming across the line in second. Danos valiantly coming home in the Ferrari in third. Matty did see the checkered flag, so that Matty didn't get to go for the fastest lap. Jones, a fantastic drive from the Aston Martin driver, sees Jones up into fourth. We are seeing some last lap changes as Riker has got ahead of Spivey. I wonder if Riker's going to also get the fastest lap as well, as we see Dino now going around the final corner to cross the line and take home a lovely 5th position for them. Smith and Snellhenk still battling it out, although Snellhenk does have a 3-second time penalty, and I think that's going to see Riker promoted as well up to 7th. There it is, Smith across the line. Riker does overtake Snellhenk due to the time penalties. Spivey down to 9, being overtaken on the last lap. Commiserations for them. And there it is, it's round 7. It might be the last time you hear of me. Hopefully it's not. But our driver of the day, rightly so, is Riker. They did have a few moments. They had a moment in the first lap, saw themselves 5 seconds down on the rest of the pack, caught back up, decided to do it all over again, spun around, caught up to the back of the pack, and sees themselves earning some good points. Enough points to see them maintain the championship lead, but that championship lead being reduced by this driver right here, the one we're seeing on the screen, Nats Packers, the Williams driver. Obviously a soft spot for me, being a fellow Williams driver. And Nats Packers picking up the race victory and moving up to second in the drivers' standings, subject obviously still to any steward incidents. But with no safety cars, hopefully there won't be too many for the stewards to go through. Now in terms of the order, we all want to see these. Nat Packers is our race leader. Didn't get the fastest lap though, did they? That fell to Big Puggy, who finished in 13th. Points to everyone who finished today. Top 15 scoring points. As long as you finish, Goey unfortunately not doing so. So Nats was our leader. Rodu came home in seconds, 1-2 on the grid, 1-2 in the race. Danos in third. In fourth, we had Jones up 2 positions from 6th to 4th. Fifth was Dino, started 5th in qualifying, finished 5th in the race. Smith finishing in 6th, up 6 positions. A fantastic drive by Smith. Did get caught up in some incidents, so I wonder if they're going to be in the stewards room or not. But a great drive from the Mercedes man nonetheless. Riker up to 7th, our driver of the day, as we saw them go up and down, around and round, all over the place. 8th position is Snell Henk. 9th was Spivey. We had Snell Henk up 2 positions there. Spivey staying put. Inorganic finished in 10th. Coming home in 11th was Matty and the Haas. 12th position was Aijva, Big Puggy and Goey in 13th and 14th. The 2 AlphaTauris, commiserations to those 2 drivers. It wasn't their day today. Nonetheless, I'm seeing a lot of thank you messages. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us at RPM Esports F1, the epitome of online league racing. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, watch everything you can, all things RPM. We're on every single social media at RPM Esports F1. Keep posted, and most importantly, keep watching. Have a good one.